Hello again, everybody. It is Monday afternoon, and we came across a crash actually a while ago. I was going to say earlier today, but we came across potentially two reasons for the crash. And I just realized I should probably test something. Let me see if the original crash was even what I thought it was. Do we have a call to free over here? Yeah, here it is. Okay. And then what if I go back to main and turn this stuff off? Okay, does this also cause a crash? Hey, ABC. Happy afternoon. I assume evening for you. This doesn't cause a crash. Strange. Strange. Hey, Chili. Yeah, it was tasty. I had like a chicken rice bowl. I've got to be very careful about my calorie intake around lunch, I think. This thing that I ate was supposedly 500 calories, which I don't know, it sounds like a reasonable lunch to me, but I think anything beyond that and I start to get like really sleepy after lunchtime. Probably also depends on what kind of calories I'm consuming. Like, are they healthy, fatty, whatever? All right, so it seems like the crash is only due to yarn spinner. Whoops. Nope. And I've got to wonder. Command D is the shortcut to add a bookmark. How many people in the world actually care about that being the bookmark for it? Like, I have very rarely added a bookmark intentionally using that shortcut. I know what the shortcut is, but frequently I accidentally press it and then accidentally bookmark a page and then had to press the shortcut again just to remove it. Like, there can't be that many people in the world who are like, oh yeah, time to add a bookmark. And I know Command D is the shortcut for that. I just feel like there are different categories of users. All right, so if we have, I mean, we could do this in any number of ways. What I could try next, I just deleted this entirely from here. I could try deleting everything except for something with an action markup handler, which is practically all of these things. So like line presenter has one. Maybe we just keep a line presenter in. Is this a line presenter? No. This is. Oh, in fact, what am I doing? I could just add a script here myself. I could just put control and attach line presenter to this. This will probably fail because it's not inside of a dialog controller. Yeah, there's no dialog runner. I wonder what happens if we try running this. Hey, Schwartz. Okay, no crash, but the crash didn't seem to happen from Godot itself. Maybe because of how tool scripts are used. No crash from here either. Maybe it needs to be initialized. It probably does. Yeah, because otherwise we're not storing anything there. All right, let's just put this back in. Let's just see what happens. So if I don't do anything here, I don't have any scripts, and I quit, it does not crash. So I need to initialize something? Or maybe I need to start a dialogue? Or maybe it's my warm-up thing that I have? Could be anything. Yeah, could be anything. I am very curious to get to the bottom of this. All right, so now we just don't call warm-up. Does this still crash? I'm just seeing what code can we add back in to get the crash to happen so we can find out what line is causing this. It's still not happening. So it's this. So this is bad. Because this is my own doing so that I could actually use this in a performant way. And I need to come up with a better way of doing this. Now it's going to crash. Yeah, now it crashes. Oh, that's too bad. All right, well, at least we isolated it. It's coming from warm-up dialog runner. Well, maybe it's actually coming from start dialog. Like, maybe I could turn this all off. then go into the game and try talking to an NPC. Yeah. Go over here, I talk to you. I close the game. It did not crash. So it's not just starting a dialogue. I tried talking to an NPC and then quitting. So this can't be causing the issue. It can't be this and this. What is happening here? I'm like duplicating lines. Huh. It probably isn't this. And it can't be this. I mean, it could be, I guess. But yeah, it's very likely these two lines here. Something about dot stop, not cleaning something up, maybe? I'd be very curious if that were the case. All right, so if we just do this, it's got to be start dialogue followed immediately by stop. In fact, I bet if we didn't stop the dialogue, maybe everything would be okay. Yeah, it's still not crashing. So now it'll crash. So it's start followed by stop. Whoops. Yeah, now it crashes. If we don't ever stop this, what happens? Yeah, so it's starting it and then preempting it, I guess. So what does stop try doing? Yeah, this is going to be tricky. What we could do, we have a couple different ways we can tackle this. A few routes we could do now. One is investigate ourselves, debugging and trying to find the source of the crash. This is doable to some extent. 2 is ask AI, and 3 is make a minimal repro and push it over the fence back to the creators of this library. I have an M2 Ultra? Yeah. Hey, Harold. How much RAM? It's all in my specs sheet that I have right there. Yeah. That'll take a second, but then it'll eventually print out. There it goes. Yeah. I think it's 64 gigabytes, but I don't want to misquote it. Okay. So, I mean, we can ask AI, and I can also just do this myself. Might as well do both, because I just want to figure out what's going wrong here. So if I start the game and then quit through the pause screen, it will crash with no meaningful trace. Yeah. Actually, no, I should probably just add on to this. Okay, so I've isolated the cause of the crash, commenting out these two lines. Well, these two lines. I guess I can just include them here. Warm up dialogue runner. Warm up dialogue runner prevents the crash from happening. Oops, I meant to type more, but I didn't. Oh well, whatever. Hey, Saro, how's a great week going? It's going well. Yeah. Okay, so now while that's running, I wanted to take a look at what exactly is going on here, because I suspect it has to do with stopping a running dialogue. Oh, wait, no, it can't. It's got to just be start, because we don't ever stop it then. Yeah, I think it's just starting the dialogue. Does it happen? Does it crash if I only call start dialogue and no stop? Drat. Yeah, Drat. Behavior across all edges. This is not important. Yeah. I kind of want to do both of these investigations at once, but I think it's hard to do. But yeah, this is the next question that I have. I mean, we can still dig into this and find out more about what's happening here. They make a new yarn task completion source. What is this? This is a partial class. Here's the other part of the definition. And it's got a yarn task with it too. Then they call cancel dialog. Which stops the VM. I mean, for all I know, this is part of the problem here. Yeah, what does their stop function do? Current execution state is stopped. Current node is null. Dialog complete handler. Call. Okay, so they call the dialog complete handler. They mention that here. We have a dialog completed. Warm up. But we only add it after we've stopped. So there's nothing on it before it. And I don't ever call anything else, right? No, yeah. But when we eventually call it, it's this stuff. Nothing's really important in here, is it? No. Yeah, I think something's going on internally in Yarn Runner. I want this thing to finish. What is it going through? Crashing process was launched from a temporary app bundle named Godot Mono 3. Is this even happening still? I don't think this is happening. I think it's just saying this because it's looking through some logs and finding it. Yeah, it's not running this anymore. I mean, it doesn't really matter what it's finding or not. I'm going to confirm it. Calls out to ATOS. A bundle path containing a space is a plausible reason. This is silly. Quit after. Headless startup and exit run does not crash. Yeah, because you got to call quit. Yeah, it's doing, yeah, sure, fine, run this. Then it's probably going to tell me go click quit myself, right? It just closed it directly. It doesn't change the diagnosis. This is stupid. Manual quit path has one extra operation. Yeah, it's this. This seeing tree.quit is causing the problem. The crash will only start and stop in this method. Probably. I'm gonna wait for this thing to finish and then I can test it. Yeah, I thought this would be some just quick investigation thing, but it's going a lot deeper than I thought it would. Does it crash if the warm-up function only has start/stop and nothing else? Man, I want this thing to be finished. Okay, it's finished now. Oh no, it's just waiting for me. Do you want to make these changes? Resource cache clear is an older workaround for audio stream lifetime problems, and the warm-up itself does not use that cache. It instantiates main and programmatically sends window close request. This will reproduce the pause shutdown without UI timing noise. I mean, sure, it could add this, but just shouldn't it add it in as C#? Yeah, whatever. Just run this. Sure. I don't care. Hey, the Hulk. AI versus Adam. I mean, I think AI will win most of the time. Like, it might do a good enough job here. If it doesn't, I'm going to investigate anyway. That's why I figured I might as well just run the automatic thing first, because all I have to do is click a couple buttons. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then I'm just going to do what I was going to do anyway. Do you want to briefly launch this? Yes, this is running with the harness code in there. So now it's acting like I just clicked the quit button. And if it crashed, then project itself will build cleanly. It didn't say that it crashed, or if it didn't. Also exited before loading the game. This is kind of silly what it's trying to do right now. And it's, I mean, I'm not so concerned about my quota here. and it resets anyway in like an hour. Do you want to make these changes? Yeah. This is stupid. I'm guessing it tried to use this and couldn't build properly because it's GDScript versus C# and it's trying to inject GDScript scripts because otherwise you have to do this weirdly. It's actually got a decent amount of knowledge about how to run this stuff, which is good. Cleanly, including resource cache clears. The reproducible crash has a narrower condition than the C# path alone. It appears tied to running the project from the editor's temporary child app bundle, not to scenetree.quit. I think this is scenetree.quit though. Well, that combined with something that's going on inside of Yarn Runner. Oh, this could run at any point in the past. I want to get my hands back on this, but I want this thing to finish so that I don't have to come back to this. I wonder if it crashed this time. Reproduces the crash, including the same 6 object DB instances. Yeah. These resources are revealing 4 C# script resources from Yarn presenter graph remain alive. Wait, how'd they see 4 of those? Where is that? Can I see the output of this? Yes, I can. Okay, let's go find out what it thinks it's leaking. I guess it'd be at the bottom. Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, there are 4 of these. I didn't see that. Okay, so running through AI revealed a few more resources. So mine was action markup handler, but it also mentions line presenter, options presenter, and line presenter conditionally hiding character name container. So something's not being cleaned up here. Queue freeing the game should do this. There's probably some reference. I'm only having trouble keeping track of all my versions. I make so many copy pastes from my folders to have the latest as backup. Are you using source control? Like Git? This is kind of silly. I'll just say yes. I mean, this is the question that I had on my list right here. So it's asking the same thing that I'm asking, which is kind of interesting. Does it crash if I only call start and not stop? And what did it determine? Stop is not required. It crashes. Okay, yes. Stop isn't required. Okay, well, it answered that question for me. That's what I was going to do. And then this is what ABC asks. All right, so now what's it testing? More to the lazy dialog initialization itself that separates from construct and actually execute a dialog. No, this shouldn't crash. I tested this myself already. Do I want to put everything on websites? I keep it on my local on my PC. Well, so to be clear, using source control like Git doesn't imply putting your code on another machine. Although it should imply that because that's another way that you're safe of having backups. But you can have Git running and just never push. You can commit all the time if you want. In general, I think modern development, there's no reason not to use source control. And there are tons of reasons to use it. And having actual like version history is one of them. So you've mentioned a problem that you're running into with it's hard to keep track of all your versions. Like this is why you'd have branches and commits. So if you're working on a feature, you might have like your main branch, and then you might have a feature like add localization. You might have something like add, new dragon boss monster. I don't know. I'm just making things up, right? But add localization will have things like whatever, French, German, some XGit text tools that you're running. And this would have things like sprites and game data and whatever else. And you can keep them separate and just switch between branches. Ooh, 75 streams, Phil. Nice. Keep it in my Python file and make a version list. Yeah, is there a reason why you're not using source control? This sounds like the problem you're running into is caused by just not using source control. Like it's just an off-the-shelf solution for what you have. I mean, the way I look at this is, imagine you had like, all right, imagine you have this. You're like, hey, I have a nail and I have a wood board and I need the nail to be in the board. And I've tried hitting my hand on it as many times as I can, but my hand just hurts. And like the nail's not going in. And I'm like, hey, have you tried a hammer? And you're like, well, I'm not using a hammer for some. It's like, this is what a hammer was made for. This is exactly what source control is made for. You got a bunch of versions you can't keep track of. You're having problems already. Like, go use version control, right? Crazy idea to program something. Okay, yeah. So here's what I'd say. Sorry, I didn't know if this was like a well-reasoned thing. Just like go install Git and learn the very basics. And the very basics are adding files and committing them, and optionally pushing to a remote repository. These are all pretty simple. Like if you went to GitHub right now, and you don't have to use GitHub for this, you can just use Git. But all I have to do is click new repository. And then you'll fill in the details here, right? So I can just say like showing this on stream, and I'll write delete me here. All right, you can ignore all this stuff. I'm gonna set it to private for now. You could also set it to private if you want. So we make this, and then it just gives you the commands that you use to set this up. So create a new repository on the command line. I can just copy paste all of this. And well, whoops, drat, I need to put that there. I meant to do this in a file folder. Make their showing this off. All right, so I just run all these things from in here and failed to push. Did it not add the README? No, it didn't. Huh, strange. This echo didn't even work. Of all the things, oh, this is because I'm using Z shell. Okay, I think this just needs to be a single caret. Okay, so that's a shell specific thing. That has nothing to do with Git. But then the rest of this stuff should be fine. And there we go. So literally copy pasting the command and then just deleting one greater than sign because of the shell that I'm using. And now I refresh this page and we have a README. And like now all your code could go here. And whenever you make something new, like let's say I go modify a file, some like main.py. And in here I just say print hello world. Now I could do git add main.py, git commit -m add main.py, git push. And it is now on GitHub. And now I can never lose this. I have a history here. I can see exactly how this got created, what changed and when. So yeah, highly recommend doing this. You saw how easy this just was for me to set up. Yes, you have to learn a couple of commands, but you could use a GUI, you could use VS Code, you could use Visual Studio, you could use Rider, you could use pretty much anything to control this. I'm gonna go delete this repo. But yeah, this is like what this was made for. And I recognize you said this is for your company. There's probably a way that you could set this up at your company. Hey, Zanurish. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in. What were you streaming today? How'd it go? Welcome in, everyone. I am just going to do something really quickly off screen, and then give me a sec. And I can explain what's going on here. Hang on, it's having me authenticate. ATH. Give me a sec. Sorry, just deleting something. Okay, great. That should work. Yeah, done. Cool. Hey, Tommy. Hey, so very sour. Well, fixing some regressions that came up during my most recent playtest of my game. Oh, cool. What is your game about? 3D arena MMO inspired by WoW, CS, and Quake. Wait. Okay. I really hope that's not copyrighted music because I always have Twitch muted and I don't know why it wasn't muted there. Man, it never autoplays stuff. Yeah, thank you so very sour. Yeah, I'm working on my own game too. It is not 3D. I am working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, and I can maybe show this off. Yeah, let me go to the title screen here. All right, and let's turn this like way down. All right, so this has only been in development for a couple months, so the title screen looks pretty bad. But this is a game about being stuck in a broken tutorial. So you start pretty basic, got some pretty simple platform mechanics here, and you work your way through this. And I'm just speeding my way to the side here, and you get to this point where a normal player would try to follow this, but it's not possible. And this is your first instance of what being stuck in a broken tutorial actually means. So yeah, now all of a sudden you're in this like dark cave area, and it's still a platformer, but you work your way over to the side, find this door, go inside. So it's a story-driven, kind of like adventure comedy game. So you get banished from this platformer game and wake up over here in a farming game. And actually, I'm doing some debug code here, so you kind of skip around. So we're in the second time you're in the farming game, when obviously you should be in the first time you're in it. So yeah, you'll be bouncing between a bunch of different games in here. And what we're working on now is just figuring out there's a crash that's happening due to a library that I'm using. I'm trying to find out why this is happening. Hey, Vipov, you sound world record pace. 5v5 PvP arena. Oh, nice. Yeah. Hey, out of curiosity, and I don't know what exactly your plans are and everything, but this sounds like a large scope game. Like, what are your plans for having a player base? And I ask this in kind of a couple different ways. One is 5v5 is too much for most people to coordinate. Like, I wouldn't find 9 friends to go play a game, and like we're all of equal skill levels and everything. So probably there's got to be some kind of online matchmaking, but then that requires players. So how do you keep players there? How do you plan on doing like anti-cheat? And if you don't want to talk about this or whatever, you're tired after a stream, I totally get it. I'm just curious, because this is one of my biggest things now is like I want to avoid multiplayer games that are not playable without like randos on the internet. Well, making multiplayer games. Because a while ago I did make a game like this. And yeah, having a player base stick around and be healthy is a very big challenge. Develop my own server, authoritative network protocol for this reason. Do not need any anti-cheat. Sorry, one quick thing. I do have a no segmenting rule in this chat. I know I'm asking this question. If there's any sort of like skill-based expression in the game, though, you would still need anti-cheat, right? Unless, I mean, I guess it depends on how you're doing this. Like, if you're making a card game, you don't really need anti-cheat because there's no dexterity element. But, I mean, again, I don't know much about your game, but if it's like WoW and Quake, it's like positioning matters, targeting matters, choosing the right thing at the right time, like having, you know, sub-millisecond response time could be important. So on the server, you could validate that all these inputs are valid, but not necessarily that they are human created. And I don't know if that creates an unfair advantage in your game. Like I said, in a card game, it wouldn't. If you had a computer controlling a card game and picking like, okay, monster 1 attacks monster 2, monster 3 attacks monster 4, it's like, well, a human could trivially easily do that. Battle arena mechanic imported from Quake. Yeah, my understanding, like Quake is an FPS, so FPS is like one of the ultimate skill expression games of dexterity, timing, accuracy, teamwork. Yeah, game's designed for that to not cause any damage. Got it. Okay, well, yeah, that's the anti-cheat part, but then what about the players part, out of curiosity? Yeah, also please everybody in chat, there's one unusual chat rule, and I will start timing people out. I really that this is the only rule. I try to warn people about it, but then I start getting purgy. So I know it's unusual. I know not everyone likes it. It's not your style. I get it, but like, please, while you're in my stream, try to respect that rule. Anyway, it sounds cool. I think it's nice. Yeah. The players part is more difficult. That's something that is worrying me. Yeah, because the other thing too that I think with it is like, you know, minimally you need 10 players, right, in a 5v5. But like, obviously that if you had an 11th player, then they'd be waiting quite some time. So then you need like, you know, 200 players or something. And then the skill levels would be different across them. And yeah. Anyway, I still think it's cool to make those kinds of things. And like I said, I did it myself. I made a game called Botland, and it was an online multiplayer game, and you battle against other players. And at least it was asynchronous multiplayer, so people didn't need to be present at the same time. But it was still tough to like keep a player base. Maintaining a community for a PvP game is really tough. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I think sort of the ideal multiplayer game to make is something like Terraria, where you can and probably should play with friends. Most people probably have tried it, but like you could have 2 friends or you could have 4 friends or something, and they could just be friends. It's not like you're expected to play with random people. And again, this is my perspective. I think if you have the resources and you can keep a player base up and running, I think, yeah, that's definitely great. Passion project, putting money into it and a lot of time, doesn't work out, then that's how it is. Yeah. And I'm not trying to sort of superimpose my goals onto you. That's why I say I'm just curious about this sort of thing. And you could make a 1,000 versus 1,000 player game as a passion project too, and just never expect to get 2,000 people playing at a time. I think that's reasonable. Anyway, cool. Yeah, thank you for answering. Yeah. Hey, Magnus. Where do we leave off with this? And what is this thing doing here? Immediately misread dialogue lines. This is not just compiling or initializing yarn state. Also confirm primary game is back to local diff it had. Sure. I mean, this is just removing stuff. Now I want to make 1,000 versus 1,000 player. I mean, those sorts of things are kind of neat to think about. Like, they're almost more proofs of concept than they are games you'd actually expect to have players playing. If you're talking about 2,000 people at a time, at least, or that the player interactions are almost meaningless. Like, imagine having an impact in a battle with like 1,999 other people. Yeah. It's been a moderator for 9 years. You can announce that. Hey, Ramy. I don't know how or why, but I read the stream title as Girl Week. Yeah, Girl Week, Grit Week. Can't really do much about it without sacrificing my vision. Oh, yeah. I get it. I get it. And I'm not trying to imply failure here. I don't want to sound like I'm a naysayer or something. I think these are things where if the goal is to like make money, or if the goal is to keep a happy player base, I think those things would be pretty challenging. And it's entirely possible that you make an indie game 5v5 or 10v10 or 50 versus 50, and it just takes off and it's popular and you have that player base. That's yeah, very much a thing. I think what Repo? Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think it was Repo. Maybe I'm thinking something else. No, I'm thinking of oh god. I'm not gonna remember this. I never remember the name. It was Lethal Company. Lethal Company was not an MMO by any means. It was 4 players. You were supposed to play with your friends, but this got enough. Well, I can't go to the page, but yeah, 275,000 reviews. So they had enough players where if it were a 5v5 or something, they'd have plenty of people. So yeah, I think extreme popularity could be one solution. Otherwise, it's like marketing budget to artificially get to the popularity level you need. Among Us, the OG one. Yeah, same kind of thing. Although Among Us was meant to be played with just kind of friends at first, right? Anyway, did this revert everything here? Run out of stop is not required. Still crashes. Merely initializing as it's cleanly. Start node immediately emits this. Enters yarn's fire and forget presenter path. Verbose shutdown reports 4 yarn presenter C# scripts alive. Likely issue is that manage resource cleanup regression exposed by executing a warm-up dialog rather than stop itself. Short-term workaround is remove the dialog execution warm-up. Replace it with this. Empty inline backtrace is consistent with a shutdown crash. I don't want to remove the warm-up. What I wanted to figure out is exactly why is this happening here? And I want to take a look. Yeah, I guess if stop isn't required, and I could probably delete all this stuff too. Let's go try running this. While I've been a module as a third of my life. It's kind of funny. I wonder how many other people in the world can say the same. Yeah. Oh, this isn't working. Yeah, actually, you know what I've noticed being on Twitch for as long as I have? I think there are a lot of people who like they start watching because they have time, which typically means that they skew a little bit younger, and maybe they're like college age or something like that. And then eventually that time evaporates and they sort of stop coming here as much. And then, you know, more new people come in who again tend to skew younger. I'm not saying this is a problem or anything either. It's kind of interesting to see this play out. So like, yeah, Ramy was probably like way more active 9 years ago. By the way, Rami, I see you've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy. Are you doing speedrunning again? Okay, so this alone is enough to cause this. Nothing happens at shutdown time, right? There are some dispose functions here. I kind of want to go look at that. Add on, yarn spinner, RG dispose. So there are only a few things being disposed. Talking about making Botland, I just realized I was back when I just moved to the States, was a sophomore. That kind of blew my mind. Yeah. Yeah, 2015 is when I started. And I didn't finish till like 2020. Or 2019 or something. I don't remember. Something like that. It was a lot of time. Yeah, exactly, Remy. No, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Huh. All right, let's go take a look at this. What causes this to print out? Resource still in use. I want to go find out more about that. Maybe we just put it in quotes. Because it's for C# scripts in particular. It would almost imply to me that we're not freeing something that we should be. And I don't know what that would be. Like all of this stuff is in the scene tree directly. Unless we're making a new dialogue runner somehow, which we shouldn't be. So if we're queue freeing the parent, then we're queue freeing this as well. And we could verify this. I could just put I can make a dispose function here. Yeah, let's go do that. Override dispose. Okay, that's it. I'll just put a breakpoint on that and we'll see if this is getting hit. Been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how double jump works. There's a bug that inconsistently allows you to double jump for extra height. Oh, cool. Yeah. Man. It does get hit. So we are disposing of line presenter. Why would the script still be around? Although actually, strangely enough, in that case, it didn't crash. So maybe it is a race condition at shutting down. So this gets hit, and then that time it crashed. But if I do the exact same thing, and then just wait a little bit longer, which is what I think I did the first time, does it crash now? Crash now too. So dispose is being called in line presenter. That was one of the things that was failing, right? Or at least was still in use. Line presenter. No, but it's in their runtime. I probably didn't define my own line presenter, did I? No. Strange. So line presenter's dispose function is indeed being called. I don't have my own line presenter. What else would even need to be done here? Resource still in use. Strange. Maybe what I should start with here is go over to Yarn Spinner's repo and find out if there's some, like, maybe the C# one. I don't expect to find anything in here. But yeah, like a resource still in use issue. Is this ever? Nobody commented. No. What about over here? Has anyone remarked on this? No. Oh, man. Going offshore in Singapore for work. Oh, sounds cool. Yeah, I've heard Singapore is a really nice country to visit. Are you going to be able to sightsee during that time? I'd be surprised if it was 2.5 weeks of just like straight up work. Not at all, really? Wow. What, they're having you work weekends and everything too? Because Singapore's not a very big country, right? Singapore area is 287 square miles. Yeah. US area is 3.8 million. It's quite the difference. All right, I'm still not even certain what can cause these after script backtrace. All right, let's open up some of these issues. Maybe something like this. It's for a C# script though. All right, let's look at some of these things. What are they complaining about? Yeah, like this. Okay, so why is this happening? Wait, what? What is the issue here? It sounds like they're only talking about that it's not printing the backtrace. Even with project settings. And then it was marked as completed here. What did they fix for this? Fix stack leak. So this might be an engine problem. Well, I don't still... Oh, man. I don't know how hard this is going to be to fix. Or how hard it's going to even be to file an issue on this. Because ideally what we could do is figure out what exactly is going on in Yarn Spinner that's causing this to leak a scripted exit. And then that's crashing. Because then we could file a minimal repro and whatever, just wait a year for it to get fixed and it'll just crash until then. It's offshore the entire time. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I see. Well, I still hope you enjoy. Yeah. I mean, just because it's work doesn't mean it has to be bad the whole time. So this sort of issue existed for GDScript scripts. GDScript seemed like it was an engine bug. 13.5 hours of flying sounds miserable. Yeah. Let me just say it could be worse. My wife is about to take a very, very long trip. And I'm not thrilled that she'll be gone, but also the amount of flying she has to do is bonkers. All right, so let's look at this one. When I quit my app, it doesn't indicate where in the script. This is not quite the same thing. Yeah, this is not quite the same thing. I want to find an example of where it says a resource is still in use and it's a C# script. Duplicate of this. No, I don't see anything for this. Man, this is just such a tricky issue. I'd love to get to the bottom of this too. All right, can you search for the regex inside of a GitHub issue? I don't think I've ever even tried it. So let's find out. If I do .star. Oh wait, we could just search for a C# script. Okay, yeah, then never mind. And nothing? What if I just search for this? Still nothing? Huh. That's, oh, I'm in the wrong repo. Okay, I was like, that's not expected for sure. All right, and then resource still in use. So the combination of the two of these things does not exist. Maybe crash. Crash on game exit if a GDScript lambda is assigned to a static variable of another script. Crash when trying to open C#. Crash when compiling. So close to being the issue I'm seeing. Man. Yeah, none of these. And then there are 165 closed ones. I'm not going to look through all of these. This maybe? Recently encountered project crashes when exporting. Happens on GDScript cleanup and in a very specific case. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this is why this doesn't crash from Godot. Maybe because they're using something in a tool script that causes it to work correctly in Godot. Because you don't see a crash here. It's the exact same code. But it does crash here. Yeah, here it crashes. Here it doesn't. Where do they use tool scripts in this? All over the place. Yeah, all over the place. I don't like this. Oh, I really don't like this. All right, how about let's just ask this. Are there any known Godot issues where something like this prints out, or where like this where the program crashes at exit, but specifically due to C# script resources that are still in use? Might as well have it search for this, because I'm not finding anything. Yeah. Then yeah, how would we repro this? There has to be something that Yarn Spinner is doing that's out of the ordinary. It's got to be a reference kept around that prevents a script from being deleted. Giving access is letting loose and trying to have it figure something out. I'm not super comfortable with that because I'm not running in like a very sandboxed way. So when it's just editing files in the workspace, it's like, okay, well, I saved to Git, so what could it really do? Delete everything? Like, I would just restore from Git. When it comes to running commands on my machine, I read all of them and make sure that there's something that's worthwhile. So every once in a while, it's running like Godot or ripgrep or, I don't know, some Git thing that is innocuous. So I haven't had any problems so far, but I've heard about enough problems that they've instilled fear in me. Do you want to allow it to issue tracker queries so I can verify whether it already has a mono resource cleanup? Yeah, sure. I didn't actually realize you could use GH to search issues like that. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if I should use that. Yeah, these are all GitHub issues things. One is a 4.x exit crash involving C# resource back to objects. Other is an older mono exit crash. Yeah, I wonder what that first one is. $68148. I mean, sure, whatever. Look at both of these, but I'll look at all of them. Fine. But like, I want to look at these. 68148. Let's go look at that. This is the mono one that I was talking about, I guess. But this is not a resource still in use, right? No. Do you want to allow reading the related Godot issue through GitHub's API so I can assess whether it belongs to the comparison? API, what is that? Makes an authenticated HTTP request and prints the response. Interesting. And in this case, it's just fetching this. Yeah, sure, that's fine. That's fine too. That's fine too. Always use trash instead of RM somewhere in the agents file. That way it goes to macOS trash folder. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I actually, like, every once in a while it's using some private temporary directory, and I actually do want it to delete it afterward. I haven't run into a problem with even RM deleting something I didn't want it to delete. Do you want to allow a final GitHub issue search for the native C# language shutdown function? Sure. And yeah, sure. I don't mind any issue list commands in the comments of this. That's all fine. Man. So 83247. 83247 and this one. Crash on app shutdown. This isn't quite what I have. And what's this one? Leaks on exit. Not resource still in use, right? Yeah, I'm fine with it accessing any of these issues. I see use a temp directory or make a git commit. Yeah, sure. Read all this stuff. What is this doing in terms of usage? That's not too crazy. Several reports reached C# language instance binding reference callback during teardown after a native resource outlived the mono binding table. Man, it's got to have enough information now, right? And if this is a regression, it's a regression from before 4.6.1 or whatever version I was on before this. Yeah, sure, look into this, but this doesn't really matter too much. Want to reading later? Sure. Yeah, PR list is totally fine. These things are all okay, but I wonder if it's getting a little too far away and trying to find out when this thing was introduced. Unless it was before 4.6. In which case, yeah, maybe this is a new regret. Well, newish. I don't remember when 4.6 came out, but I think it was last year at some point. So maybe this is like a year and a half old. I keep saying, do you want to allow a final search? It's not final. I keep doing more and more of these. Yeah. Anyway, issue list is okay. Clear instance binding callbacks. After C# finalization, native objects must not invoke stale C# instance binding callbacks. Dialog execution leaves objects alive during teardown. They may be the trigger rather than the object directly dereferenced by the crash. Fourth, this is a new issue in references. Your minimal reproduction is unusually good. Start a dialog once, quit after roughly 60 frames. I'd have to go include yarn spinner. I mean, I could do this. It's open source. I could make a minimal repro that has yarn spinner. I just wanted a minimal repro that has like one script and one node. But I do kind of fear that this has to do with specifically something that happens in here that keeps a reference around like this set program. What is this? Loads all nodes from the provided program. Loads a program in this case. It's a yarn concept. A compiled yarn program. There's something that's not being cleaned up, I think. Do they run into this problem in Unity by any chance? Where's their Unity repo? I don't even know. I don't think I ever got a link to it because I don't use Unity. Maybe it's in here somewhere. Unity, there it is. All right, let's just search here for crash. There are only 193 issues, so there shouldn't be that many that contain crash. Yeah, only 9. Nope. Okay, so it's not a Unity problem. I don't know if it's only a Godot problem. I don't know if no one else has reported it because, like, clearly I'm having a problem and I haven't reported it yet, so I haven't found anything in the repo. I don't know if it's a Godot problem yet either. I guess what we could do, we could make a brand new project, include Yarn Spinner, and report that to Godot. But we have to... I don't want to do this. Whatever, it's Grit Week for a reason. Let's go do it. I'm not going to complain about this. All right. So, yeah, let's do this. At least I'd have something to report. I could also report it to the Yarn Spinner repo. All right, so create a new project and browse to my repros folder. We say like C# crash on exit. Select, don't create, call it the same thing. All right, that looks good. No need for source control. All right, so we're in our project. Now I got to go set up Yarn Spinner. I have some setup notes. Follow these instructions. They're easy, but involve some non-standard steps like modifying your CS project file. Okay. So download a copy, locate add-ons directory of your new local copy, put a copy of this in your Godot project. All right. Temp Yarn Spinner, open. So we put this into our new project. Code, Godot, repros, what do I call this? C# something. Open this. Okay, so now make an add-ons folder. And in there, paste in this thing. Great. So we have our add-on. Now what? Now I probably need C# somewhere, right? Yeah. So go to Tools, Create, Solution. Done. Now go modify the solution file. So let's maybe open a new window over here. No, not new. What am I doing? Open. So code, Godot, repros, C#. Open this in a new window. I hope that worked. Now I can open up the CS project file from here and paste this in. All right, your brand new project should look like this. Great. Save it. Return to Godot. Almost everything is ready to go. Click build at the top right. This will trigger a build. Once it's complete, go to project settings and plugins enable. All right, so I build this. Wait a second. What happened to use writer at the top right? Oh, I need to install it in the project. All right, fine. All right, so I enable this and everything should just be good. Yeah, once it's complete, we're done. Great, and ready to go. So now we can go make a yarn project in here. Yarn Spinner, create yarn project. We call this project, sure. And then create a script. Yarn script, I don't know, just script. What's the extension? .yarn? Yeah, sure, script.yarn. Sounds great. Okay, so now we have everything. Now we go into add-ons and get the demo thing that they've got. Where is that? Scenes, default dialogue system. So I think we just add this in here. How do you do this? There we go. And then what? Editable children? Yeah. So that's good. Now we need a script here. This is going to be the main scene. We need a script here. Sure, main. I don't care about the name. Put it in a namespace. Fine. And then we need to get the dialogue runner so we can start and stop a dialogue, which means I need something in my script file for this. Is this not loading? Okay, that's fine. We can just manually load it. Script.yarn. So I don't remember the format for this, so we're just going to pull it from my existing game. Actually, I could just do this, right? Yarn node. Title start. This is a test. And then just delete the rest of this and put this here. We have start and then tags and then triple dashes. So this could be start and then tags and then triple dashes. And then just put this as a test in here. Yeah. All right, so that should work for a script. Now we got to go get the dialogue runner. And then warm it up. All right, whatever. This should exist here, yeah. All right, so it's dialogue runner accessed uniquely. So just do that. Oh, can't toggle. Make local. All right, then we do this stuff, which is just starting a dialogue. And this should be awaited. Yeah. And that's it? Is that our repro? Does this work? We need a quit button somewhere. How do we do that? I guess it's just the quit command. I gotta make it be on the screen somewhere though, so let's just go add a button in. Oh, quit. All right, now put that somewhere down here. Just needs to be visible. And we'll call it quit button. And then I'll go plug this in. So button, quit button equals done. Press plus equal. This has to pull whatever we had from main here. Wait, what? Is a notification of a close request? So the quit button that I have on the pause menu. What does this do? Calls quit game. Propagates this. All right, sure, whatever. I mean, I might as well just do this exactly the same way. Quit via notification. There. And then this will also be the listener for it, which is strange, but whatever. Just want to keep everything the exact same. So copy this over to here. Member with the same, oops, I pasted twice. And that's it. So we could just call get tree.quit from up here. This might not be necessary. And this could just be bar, right? Yeah, sure. Great. Okay, so what if we run this? What happens? No main scene has been selected. So running from Godot won't ever cause a crash anyway, but it doesn't even run. Cannot access the disposed object. This might be spurious though. So if I run it again, I don't think that a crash is going to show there. The bug, the error. No, it still does. Why is that? Yarn project is not set on text line provide. Oh, right. I gotta set this here. Quick load that. And then we need our script inside the project. Is it already there? It is. All right, that might work. And then I guess we just set our start node to start. No, we don't even need that. What am I talking about? I just need this to say start. What does it say right now? Where'd the code even go? Yeah, there it is. That's fine. All right, so yeah, it says this is a test. I click quit. Nothing bad's going to happen. I can't even click this, actually. Probably because there's something blocking it. The dialogue runner is blocking it. The dialogue runner is... What is this? Oh, they made a custom type. Oh, sure. But I guess it's the line presenter blocking it. Yeah, what I could do, I could do a couple things, but I think just blocking mouse input on this is probably fine. Oh, it's already set to ignore. All right, well, I don't know what exactly is blocking it. Let's just go to debugger and then misc and we'll find out. It is the line text. Where's line text? Here. Okay, so just turn that off. Done. And now we should be able to click quit. No, now the presenter control is eating it. All right, then we go over to here and change this one to ignore. And now it is still the presenter control. Are there two? Yes, there are two. Okay, we ignore that one too. Ah, now we can quit. Okay, great. So that's not going to cause a crash, but we can add a, how do we do this? Add a configuration. Okay, I need a new configuration. Lets me run something. I don't know what this is supposed to be. So let's go find it from over here. Yeah, it's got to look like this. So .NET executable. Can I click over here? Is this not going to work? No, it's not going to work. All right, well, let's take a picture. And I'll put this picture over here. Okay, close out of that. Go add a new thing. So .NET executable. And we just got to match the screenshot, which I'll just keep open on my other monitor for a sec. So we'll call this player. Executable path is going to be applications, Godot, contents, Mac, Godot. Great. Program arguments, path is just game. Working directory needs to be, where's my, oh, these aren't alphabetical anymore. Repros, C#. There's no game folder, so I guess it's just dot. And then that's it, right? No, I gotta set this to .NET Core. And then that's it. Yeah, so I click OK and I click play. And now maybe it'll crash. Nope. There's something more to it than that. Well, that would have been nice. Because now we got to figure out what's the difference. I mean, we save this in a task. Maybe it's that. Maybe I need to delete this task. I don't know. At this point, we're in the just try stuff and figure out what's going on phase. So there, I guess. It says the field's never used, but still, what if I run this now? No crash. What else am I doing? I guess I'm adding command handlers. Well, I guess I'm doing a lot of stuff, actually. And maybe more importantly, I've got some interconnectivity between everything over here on the right side that I did not try to replicate. And now I don't even have the other project open. This better be worth it in the end. If I figure out that there's a crash, I file a bug, and now it's someone else's responsibility, it's totally fine. I don't mind if it doesn't get fixed for like a year or 2 years even, potentially. But yeah, if I don't find anything from this, that'd be a real shame. All right, so anything different between these two? I find this very tough to use with just one monitor, so I'm just going to put the other one on my other monitor, and I'll just go through these manually. So project, in-memory variable, yep, text line provider. I do have another line presenter, and this is set to start, but it doesn't matter. Other than that, we're fine. Can also attach a stream clip. Yeah. I've done that before for some bugs, and I do think it's helpful, especially when I don't really know what the cause is. And I'm like, well, I did something in here. Palette marker processor. I wonder how much that matters. All right, are we doing anything in here, though? So there are some slight differences, and maybe I should write down what some of these things are. Slight differences. Like, I have a, what is it called? Line presenter conditionally hiding characters. And yeah, so there's that. I have a palette marker processor. An ad is about to start. I already put it off a couple times. I should just take a break. Okay. Well, I guess I'll be back in a little bit then. Is it jump time? Is that going to trigger? It didn't get it. Is it jump time? It's jump time. All right, for those of you who've never been here before, you can type jump in Twitch chat. Sorry, not jump, join in Twitch chat, and then J and a number to jump. I'll be back in a few minutes. See you soon. Okay, hello again, everybody. Hey, CMJ. Hey, Purple. Close the game. All right. All right. While we were looking through what are the changes between these two projects, what are the differences? I mean, is there anything else that we have here? Presenter control under line presenter. Set a dialogue runner. There is no dialogue runner set here. Oh, because presenter control for me has a dialogue container fader. Any of these things could matter. Some of these are custom scripts that I made, though. All right, then what? We have line presenter handler. Where's that? We have button handler. That's new. Options presenter as option parent. Fade up, fade down. Okay, enough of this stuff is different. Yeah, and then I have a letter typewriter. Does that matter? And where do we even set this? I guess I'll go instantiate in a letter typewriter. Where do we have this thing? Here it is. We might not need that. I forgot what says to use this. I guess we can search my own code. So yeah, let's go do that. Letter typewriter. Custom typewriter, here it is. What is this node? A line presenter. Okay, so line presenter over here must have a typewriter field, right? Line presenter. Typewriter, here we go. All right, and it's already set to by letter. Okay, so great. That's already fine. Hey, who cares? All right, so I don't see a difference in the scene tree that would hope, like one that stands out to me at least. There are some slight differences. But would any of those be a problem? I guess I could be. I mean, there's scripts that I wrote. Maybe we should just try to plug these in and see what happens. Alternatively, what we could do is we could remove them from the farming game. Like, what if I got rid of this? Yeah, let's just delete it. Why not? Right? Yeah. All right, so I'll save that. So we've deleted one thing. Now we'll go try to run this. Been a hot minute. How are things? Things have been going pretty well. I started a week ago on what I was calling stabilization mode. Hang on, what is this? Node added to dialog presenter does not appear to be a dialog presenter. Does it still crash? Well, it doesn't crash, but that's because of a different problem. Yeah, so I started stabilization mode, which is supposed to be a time to tackle like non-game code issues. So this is still for the game. But as an example, last week we did a lot on localization. Localization is important. People would still say it's part of games, but it's not like fun code to work on a lot of the time. It actually was pretty decent last week and we got a lot done and I'm happy with how things ended up. So now today I was working on random tasks and there's a crash that happens and I'm trying to figure out how to repro this in a way that'll let me report it without having to upload like my entire game. So it's not quite going to be the minimal repro because I think we have a decent amount going on here. But yeah, I'm still trying to find out how to do this. Does not appear to be a dialogue presenter. Ensure only dialogue presenters are added. What happened here? Is that it? That might have been it. All right, so I removed something and we're going to see if it still crashes. It does. Okay, so it's not that. So what did I even just remove? Because I don't remember. Something in here. Where is it? This. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Atlas Headhunter. Happy raid. Welcome in. Oh, I forgot to give... Wait, did I give Xeners a shout out? Hang on a second. I want to see if my... Oh, I don't think I did. Okay, yeah. Hey, Merd. Well, welcome in, everyone. We are trying to find the source of a crash right now that's happening, and it's very tough. I hope everything's going well. I hope everyone's doing well. You had a good weekend. We're overall working on a game here. Moving this from my game doesn't fix the crash. And the game itself is called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I don't have a Steam page or anything. I might make one this week. I'm not totally sure. We don't even really have a logo for the game yet. There's a lot that's missing. It's only been in development for a couple months. Had a good weekend. 2 successes on stream today. Oh, nice. I'm sure it was more than 2 successes in terms of streaming, but maybe you mean 2 successes in terms of the content of like helping people out. Because even just starting the stream is a success. But yeah, that's cool. So, Headhunter, you do like largely similar work for your main job, right? Do you ever feel like streaming feels like more work? Or is it are you accounting for it as part of your work? Like if I had a 40-hour work week and streaming was 20 hours, I'm like, yeah, that's just part of my job. As opposed to 40 hours of work and then 20 hours extra of streaming. And I'm like, well, this is just more of my job. Getting more interviews based on your rest. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for showing me Espanso. It's a great tool. Yeah, Espanso is great. For those who haven't seen it, it's just a way of doing text expansions. So like I can type apostrophe O and then space. So I pressed 3 keys and I got the word organization on screen, or EVS for environment variables, or anything for the various emojis that I use. Yeah, I really like this. Anybody wants a link? There it is. Okay, so it's not this. We had a couple other things that were here. Palette marker processor. I think we can just delete this, although I got to find out what's connecting it. Palette marker processor. I'll just delete it, and then we'll search for this. Something had to have pointed to it, right? Like I shouldn't just be able to run this now, I think. How I apply it's very different. So I count as 40 hours of work and 15 hours of streaming. Okay. But does the 15 hours of streaming feel like 15 hours of work? Hey, Allah. How should I get out there in my mid-20s to experience life? AKA get out of hometown land. Great first, land great job first, or move and get temp dead end job. It's fun work. Okay, I see. Yeah, I kind of feel like that with game dev. This is a pretty open-ended question. I mean, I know you kind of narrowed it down to job, but I mean, you could move without a job. You could move with a temp job, or you can move with a like quote unquote final job. And to be honest, I think it kind of comes down to like what's your risk level. So I would probably not want to move without a job, but I might not want to move with my perfect job. Maybe I want to just get out now, for example. And yeah, if you're very risk averse, then maybe you just wait until you find like what you think is going to be a great job for you. So yeah, my risk level is such that I'd opt for one of these two. But yeah, I've seen people move to other cities and they find a way to make it work. I see. I think you're also not awaiting start in repro. Yeah, there are some code differences too. I'm just not certain. I want to see if any of these scene differences matter. So it looks like this isn't crashing anymore, because I just ran this and it didn't crash. Let's try again. Wait, now it crashed. Okay, so it's not that either. So this or this. And then presenter control is a dialog container fader. I want to figure out what's different there. Presenter control. So it's just nothing versus a fader. So I could just remove this. Yeah, just detach the script. Let's try that out. Bounce around Airbnbs for 2 years. Recommend doing that for a bit, not more than a few years. I think part of it is having the funds to be able to do this. Also, Outlaw, please, 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 please do not segment your messages. Yeah. Try to just type your messages as one message if you can. Yeah, it's a one chat rule I have that is not common to other streams. There's the usual like don't be racist and stuff that I'm not gonna write in my rules because I'll just ban someone anyway. But yeah, this is something that I will eventually take action on that you wouldn't be aware of if I didn't tell you about it. Tend to be a lot cheaper than living in the city. Yeah, I think this is another one of those things where a lot of it boils down to your personality in the end. Like, I do not think I'd like staying in random places for long amounts of time. Like if I'm on vacation and we stay at a hotel somewhere, it's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But if I were living out of a hotel for like 2 months, I don't think I'd like it. Unless I was never at home, which is not my personality. Like I'm always at home. Hey, just some dude. Saw gameplay of Agree and Trees Hate You. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Marin. Yeah. Hey, Darkstorm. Take care, Headless Headhunter. Thank you again for the raid. Congrats on the successes. Have a good rest of your Monday. Okay, so if I quit here, nothing bad just happened. I'm going to try again because this does seem to be timing related somehow. Yeah, it's like I quit while dialogue is running. Maybe that's what I need to do over here. Maybe I need to slow this down. I could do that very easily. There's the typewriter on one of these. I forgot what it is. This one? Yeah. So letters per second, let's set it to 1. And words per second, let's set it to 1, although it's by letter, so it shouldn't matter. Now I go launch that. And ideally, we'll cut it off this time. Let's take a look. We should see it type out up there. Yep. You see a letter appear at a time. I hit quit. It does not crash. Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah. But wait, what was this? Trees hate you? Oh. I mean, everything hates you when you're a coder. Everything's waiting to be a bug or crash. All right, so none of these. What ABC said was, where was that? Not awaiting start in repro. Yeah, so here's the repro. Let's go look at the code that I have over here. We do this here. Configure await true. This is after the warm-up task is done. So, but we might not even finish this. Well, okay, never mind. Now we're definitely going to finish this. So we call start dialogue twice, basically. Yeah, because we don't await this at all. Well, we await this, but start dialogue should finish pretty much immediately, right? No, we wait for the whole thing to finish. So we should never get to this other line of code. Let's find out if that's the case. Yeah, here. Do we ever hit this line? Also earn some qualifications in the meanwhile. Just the 20s experience, a new city thing I want to do. Look, there are some things that I almost feel like, you don't live for very long. So you should just pursue the things you absolutely want to do. It's like, if you want to, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something, and I'm just trying to be careful not to sound like ageist here of like, what could you do in your 20s that you can't do in your 30s? But whatever, I don't know, pick something like a 500-mile hike or something like that. Like, yeah, you could still do it in your 30s, but you're probably more likely to be healthy doing it in your 20s. Anyway, those are the kinds of things where it's like, if you want to do that, you got to find a way to do that. So if you want to live in a new city and you want to enjoy it while you're in your 20s and your 20s are running out, I'd say that, yeah, maybe steer on the side of a little bit more risk. And like, you don't get a job that's maybe perfect, or you live with extra roommates or something. Those games are good for easy cash. No one will remember after maybe 2 to 3 months. I think some of them are memorable. But yeah, I think it's kind of easier said than done to get one of those games to be successful. Like, making a rage bait game, there's probably some finesse to it, but a lot of times you could probably just make a sort of a bad game and just call it a rage bait game. Or just make a platformer that's really punishing. Like, a lot of those are just very punishing games. But some of them catch on, and there are probably a lot that don't. All right, so yeah, this is never called here. So we await the warm-up task and set configure await to true. And we do this from where? Start dialogue. So anywhere that we call start dialogue, which we probably call the first one from ready. No. Wait. No, we do call it from ready. Yeah, at the bottom of this. Warm up dialogue runner. Okay, so then we would do the same thing here. No, we don't await it from dialogue runner though. Oh wait, I see. I'm being dumb. All right, so yeah, warm up dialogue runner. But all we do is save out the task. I guess it is pretty much the same thing. Never mind. Yeah. All right, but there's something else I noticed as I was doing this, which is if I start this and I just wait long enough, it won't crash when I quit. So there, it types out the text. I hit quit. Okay, it did crash. Maybe I wait a little bit longer. Now I quit. Wait, what? What causes this then? I like moved to the side and then it seemed like everything was fine. No, I don't know. It's just crashing no matter what. New headline is relocating promptly and reliably for job apps outside of state. Yeah, yeah. And I think if you can ever get in touch with a human, being able to tell them that probably also goes a long way. Probably easy to develop those games. Are hard to think about something that isn't bad. Well, also just hard to get the word out there. Like, I do think, okay, so there are varying levels of goodness when it comes to games. So like a game quality, let's say, or something like that. Let's say it ranks on a scale of 1 to 10 and that most people agree. Okay, great. So now we can say a game like Pokemon might be an 8, but, you know, some like E.T. for Atari is like a 1. So there's some category of games which are maybe like a 5 to 6. And with good marketing, they can do well. As opposed to a game that's a 10, like, probably doesn't need much marketing. Like Mega Bonk probably had I don't know how much marketing they had, but like it just spread because it was a good game and people liked it and Steam felt the need to push it too to get more revenue. So cool. Anyway, if you're in this category, and probably most games, I mean, there's probably a bell curve of games in general. And if you rate it from like 1 to 10 on this list and you had, I'm going to do this terribly, and this is like a quantity thing, it's probably following kind of a bell curve. So there are going to be a lot of games that are 5s, and you can kind of push it either way. If you don't market it, it probably doesn't do very well. If you market it, it could do a lot better. I imagine a lot of those rage bait games fit into that category where it's like they're probably sort of average. Like even the good ones are maybe like a 7 on that scale. And yeah, marketing and streamers just kind of push it. You know, Realm of the Mad God, what you're doing reminds me of that. Yeah, I played Realm of the Mad God. I actually made a game inspired by it as when I was learning Godot. This thing. This was my first project I did in Godot, and it wasn't supposed to be a full game. Although it actually is like, you know, like moderately in depth. What is this? Oh. Okay, anyway, it's really hard to control on this particular keyboard. But yeah, you can move around in this world and shoot things and use skills. And you eventually encounter some enemies here. It's really hard to control on this keyboard. But yeah, this is cool to make. Looks good to me. Okay, so no amount of waiting seemed to help. So it wasn't these things. So now I have to look at code changes. What other code changes are there that could be causing this? Like, let's get rid of this. Let's just call start dialogue right from ready. We don't need a task. We just do that. And let's get rid of this stuff. All right, does it still crash? Probably it does. It does. But this one doesn't. So what is the difference? Hey, Cuttlefish. I just don't know. I don't know. We don't have any other listeners here. We don't listen to anything on Runner. Yeah, we don't. So all we do is we get the dialogue runner and call start dialogue. And that's all I'm doing over here too. Get the dialogue runner, start dialogue. We don't even need this. We could just ignore this. Maybe it's something else listening for the close request over here that's getting in the way. No, we only have one of these. Nice Cuttlefish. How long were you there for? What is the difference? What is the difference here? I mean, we have all this stuff too. Like, what if we just delete all of this? I don't think this should matter. I'm just gonna randomly comment out code until we figure out what's causing this. Either we'll stop the crash this way. No, now it's gonna leak a whole bunch of stuff. So we do need this in here. I don't know. I don't know what else is different. I guess we have multiple different scenes. A few days, relative is getting married. Oh, cool. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, Scotland looks like it has a lot of nice scenery. Hey, let me ask you, how'd you feel about the food while you were there? Not at the wedding, of course, but just like in general when you weren't at the wedding. I don't know what we can do at this point. I don't know what the difference is between my game where it's crashing and the minimal repro where it isn't. Food was great. Good to hear. Because I heard from a friend who went that depending on where they were, because they went to a few different places in Scotland, that they were like, it's not a lot of variety, and that friend didn't particularly like Scottish food. So they just said food wasn't a highlight of the trip. But I haven't been myself, so this is not firsthand experience. Start dialogue. So if we don't do this, it doesn't crash. We know that it's coming from start dialogue somehow. I just don't have any other insight into what's causing this. So we can just quit immediately. Yeah. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, that probably helps a lot then. Because then you go to Scotland and you're just eating food you're used to. I don't know what else this could be. Yeah. I don't have any other ideas. I don't see any big difference with the scene trees here. So let's expand this a little bit. Yeah, is there anything else? Whoops. I am just clicking random stuff. Yeah, clear guides. There we go. Okay. So dialogue runner. Variable debug text. I mean, I don't have this over here, right? No, I do. Then line presenter, presenter control. We have slightly different handlers for these things. It shouldn't really matter though. And we have a different letter typewriter. I mean, I could just delete that from over here, right? What if that is the problem though? Oh my God, if it is, I'm going to be annoyed. Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought of that. This is different. Let's try it. So there should be a line presenter. Yeah, and here we have a typewriter. I want this to just be by letter. We set this to 1. Okay, does it still repro? Hey, Krasner. Just barely made it in time. Yeah, thank you very much, by the way. I hope you've had a good Monday, too. It's been good, but we're trying to figure this out. The game crashes when you quit after starting a dialogue in the farming game. And I just cannot figure out why this is happening. And it's consistent, which is nice, but I can't repro it in a standalone project. It's like I'm trying to do this and it just won't crash. So something else is different. The dash verbose can help understand the crash. Yeah, hey Frag. I've tried a bunch of different things. I have run with dash verbose. I've gotten some extra error messages. They were about these. Resource still in use. I just can't get this to, I guess let's just try it from the command line. So applications / Godot.
Whoops.
Yeah, so just all of that. Resources, Godot, path. Okay. So I want this to be stuck in a broken tutorial, which I guess is under what, Godot? Yeah. / game. I didn't even launch with verbose right there. And it didn't even crash. Did it crash that time? Yeah, it crashed that time. So it doesn't always happen. Oh, wait, we have a different options presenter? Okay, let's delete that. Maybe that has something to do with this. Yeah, I'll just give it the built-in options presenter. All right, does it still happen? What's that stuff? Object reference not set. So I'm trying to do something in input that's based on my options handler. Love to get to the bottom of this. Where's that coming from? Farming game input, line 275. Player is performing action. What's failing? Null reference exception. The player doesn't exist then? Which means that something must have failed before this? Yep, it does mean that. So where's the first failure? Can't see it. Yeah, it just spews so much to the console that I can't see what the first instance of this is. Let's just close it really fast. I can't close it that fast. And I super messed that up. All right, well, let's just pipe it to a file, a.txt. There. I think that's still too fast. Yeah, what is the, like, 2 greater than %1? File exists. b.txt. All right, there we go. So delete a.txt, open b.txt, go find the first instance of an exception here, which is probably that the options presenter isn't doing something correctly. Where is that? Here. Make sure to set both presenter control and options presenter. Yeah, I messed something up. Options presenter. Aha, there's the problem. Okay, so just delete that. Easy peasy. Hey, EPMX. My experience, most useful bug reports are just stack traces from GDB. If you can build debug version. I have a debug version built. I'm concerned that if I file a bug report with anything short of just the root cause, that it's going to be like 4 years before it gets fixed. So yeah, that's the only key part about Godot here. It is open source. They do tackle bug reports every once in a while, but the vaguer it is, the less likely it is to get addressed. So I want to see how much I can find out about this. Also, welcome to the stream. All right, so I gotta assign all this stuff, right? Presenter control and blah, blah, blah. Which presenter control do we pick? I guess I only have this one now. Last line, none of that should matter. Option item prefab, option item. Let's just use the built-in one. None of this really matters. I just needed to not throw an exception at the beginning, but it still crashes at the end anyway. And we're still getting the exception too. Why is that happening? Presenter control and blank on this options presenter. What is the blank it's trying to get? I don't need any of the last line stuff. Option parent, that's probably needed. Choice container. Well, that in itself is its own bug. Let's just copy that. So I think the exception should no longer be thrown, but it's still going to crash when I exit. It did not crash when I exited. Is this my options presenter, or is it just a race condition thing? It's not crashing. It's not crashing. Okay, so another small issue. When you don't set the option parent on an options presenter, it says this. The and on is the problem. It should have a word there. I don't know what the word is. Option parent, probably. So wait a second. Is this actually the cause? Like my stupid options presenter doesn't make this thing work? What did I have there originally? Farming.tscn. Of course it's my fault. All right, so here's my code. How does this differ from a regular options presenter? Let's just close all these tabs now at this point. Let me open up both options presenters. Here is the built-in one. We'll put that on the left side so that I can see the diff to the other one. Okay, a lot has changed. But a lot of this is comments. A lot of it's probably going to be formatting. I don't need last line stuff in mine. Ready probably just moved to the bottom of the file. Or the top of the file, but it's not there. Oh, man. Do I have a ready function here? I don't even see one. Yeah, there it is. Is this largely the same as the other one that we had? Did AI change this file? No, I changed this file. Well, okay, that's not totally fair. AI might have changed their version of the file. This is code from the library, and then this is my code. So I copy pasted the code from their library and then changed it to meet my exact needs. And I did that by hand. But they might have changed some of this with AI since I took theirs as a base. So, you know, what might be nice is doing something like this. How do you, what is the shortcut for this? There we go. Yeah, I want to see both readies next to each other. Like, what are they both doing? Are they the same? This is the same, that's the same, this is the same, and then I do something different. But I don't do anything meaningfully different here. We do add a command handler, though. This kind of makes me wonder if adding command handlers is the problem. So let's go get my code again and start just like bisecting it and figuring out what's going on here. Unfortunately, this is not going to be the easiest thing to do. I got to get this options presenter back in and then set everything on here. This is fine. That's probably all fine. This can be my option item. That's another potential problem that this could have been. Option parent needs to be set to the choice container. Presenter control needs to be set to this. So if we run this, we're back to having it crash. We didn't even get to the point where we show options. Yes, it crashes now. Okay, we're good so far. Now let's find out why it's crashing. So how much of this add command handler is the problem? What if I just turn this off? This is a weird line of code to focus in on, but it does kind of make me feel like something could be happening there. No, it's still crashing. Okay. Well, let's write down the findings so far. So using my own options presenter seems to be the core of the problem. If I use the built-in options presenter, the crash goes away. So just to verify, and this is way out there, but it doesn't happen to be this option item prefab, right? I mean, we can test it super easily, so I'm going to, but I don't know why it'd be this. So I'm expecting it to still crash. It didn't crash. Oh my God. Is it really this? Wait, for real? All I did is change this, and all of a sudden now, so I switched back to mine, and now it's going to start to crash. Oh boy. This can't be true, can it? What am I doing in a button and a rich text label? It's got to be this script, right? Oh my god. What am I doing? What is it? All right, let's try this. Let's go into option item. So let's try my scene, but their script. And does this crash? I'm guessing the crash went away. That's my guess. Yeah, the crash went away. Hey, noob. So it's my script that's causing the problem, which we've now narrowed it down to this, which is crazy. Okay, so option item.cs is apparently the problem, not even the tscn file. So wait, just to be clear, I'm going to run this again. It's going to fail, right? It's going to crash. Also, does this happen if I just click close from up here? It does. Okay. So it doesn't matter how we close it. It just matters what's loaded at the time. And yeah, option item is apparently bad. All right, so why are you bad? Let's go close everything again. So here's my code. Now let's go get their code. I gotta make sure I'm picking this correctly. Where is it? There it is. All right, I want to put this one on the left side again. I want to compare with the other file. And again, it's just too much stuff to read because a lot changed. But let's just try to go through because the files aren't that long. So in both cases, there's a rich text label and a button. Rich text label and a button. Yeah. Then an on option selected, a completion token. Those are the same. As submitted option selection is there. Focus button is here. We call button.grab focus. And they do the same, but they check to see if it's valid. Okay, that's something that I never thought of. It's possible that these isInstance_valid calls are important for when the program is closing. I hadn't thought of that. I thought this was more like if you hadn't set a button, there'd be a problem. But we'll find out because there's not that much code to go through. I am very curious. Very, very curious about this. Yeah, this stuff looks pretty much the same. Yeah, this looks pretty much the same. This is also pretty much the same, yeah. Then I have a bunch of sound stuff that they don't need. And then we have this, which is the same. And this, which probably doesn't matter for this. So the only real difference that I saw, I've already forgotten. Oh yeah, the isInstance_valid here in focus button. I doubt any of this is being called though. Let's put some breakpoints in here because this makes no sense. Alrighty, let's start with all of these because none of these should be hit. And same with this. In fact, yeah, sure, same with that. Same with this. On button focus entered. We probably don't need any of that. Same thing with focusing a button. None of the options should be shown. That's why. There is no option for the beginning. Invoke option selected, again, should not be used. This, I don't really care about. And then there's one other part that I wanted to know. Where was that? Focus button. Focus button just shouldn't even be called. I already put a breakpoint there, right? Yes, I did. Okay, so let's run this. None of those should get hit. If they are, then that's unexpected. Yep, none were hit. Now let's make sure they weren't hit for the right reason. This should be using my script. It is. Oh, wait, we know it's the right reason because it's crashing. So I spot no difference. No meaningful difference here. But my script is bad and their script is good. We're not even running half the code. Init I don't even think it's being run because I think I deleted that. Yeah, it's not. So most of this code is pointless. Set manual use of button. This is also probably not being used for anything, right? Okay, this technically does get called. So I think if we break in here, we'll see this. Typically means it's wrong. Yeah, I'm trying to find the source of a crash. Okay, yeah, none of this is getting called. All right, so in terms of code we can ignore, it is all of this. So we only have up until line 60. Ready is definitely, wait, no, I shouldn't say definitely being called. It's never being added to the scene, right? Wait, yeah, what? We never even make an option item. What about this? How could adding this script cause an error then? Oh, what a perplexing puzzle this is. None of my code is even being hit though. I never add an option item to the scene. What does this mean? The only thing I could think. Well, okay, no. Let's not. We don't need to make an accusation yet. Let me look at this. Where do we make an option item? There should be somewhere we instantiate them. Create new option view. Here, yeah. This is never called. Yeah, it's never called. Okay, I don't know how to make sense of this. So we never make an option item, but having my script on this, which is never used, causes a problem. How is that possible? And again, just to be clear here, if I just detach this script entirely. Wait, how does it know that it's an option item? What's the top of this? Wait, what if we just detach the script entirely? It wouldn't know that it's an option item, so this wouldn't work as far as I understand. Let's try it and see what happens. Okay, that fixes it. So the existence of my script makes this not work. Let's try a different script then. Like a brand new script. Like a delete me.cs kind of script. And it's a, yeah, it's whatever, panel container. What do I care? I just want to see what happens if it's a totally blank class. Does it crash? It does not. I'll try one more time, just in case. Because I think there is some like 5% chance that it just doesn't crash when it should. Okay, yeah. So there's no problem here. Okay, then let's start adding in code until we figure out what could be going wrong. So I'm going to close everything else. We're going to open up option item. I love the end of this process where we find out, oh, that's what happened, and here's why it happened. This part of it, actually, this isn't too bad yet. We haven't been struggling for a long time. So if I copy all of this, this can be a control, sure. And I just paste this in. Does this crash again? Because I would expect it to. We need to go include a bunch of stuff. Is there any other red in this file? No. All right. So now I would expect it to crash because now we have the same repro that we just had, right? And then we're gonna delete functions until, yeah, it crashes. Okay, so now let's start deleting some stuff. Goodbye, code. So long. Because we don't call any of this anyway. Comment that out for now. All right, is that enough to get it to crash? We're going to eventually delete everything and it won't crash. So we're going to find the issue here. We have to. There's no way we can't find it. Yeah, so it's already not crashing. So something I got rid of here, even though none of this code is being used, is an issue. So if I just comment all of that out. We're in weird territory though. Like I don't have an explanation for how this could change the program's output. Yeah, so this is it. Just one of these 5 functions. If I have them in, the program crashes. But none of them are ever being executed. How is that possible? How can code that never gets hit cause a problem? There's one idea that I have, and it's that this code is being hit, but it's at the time where no, wait, no, that doesn't make sense, does it? Time where a crash happens? I guess let's run this again through this. Oh, I cannot wait to figure out what's going wrong here. Resource still in use, action markup handler. Oh, you know what maybe it is? It's maybe the reference to audio system isn't being cleaned up. We're never initializing this though. Oh yeah, we're never initializing this. So even though I set this to null here, that crashes. What is going on? Okay, let's try something else here. What if I comment out, because we know that I'll comment out the first 3 of these. I know this is tedious to watch. I have no idea what is going on right now. Yeah, so it's one of these 3. We must be calling these from somewhere. I don't know. Hover sound variation? Is it this one? One of these causes a crash. And we only have 3 more tests we have to do to find it. Okay, it's that one. So we can just go comment out the rest of this. In fact, we can probably comment out the rest of this entire file, right? And it's still going to crash? All because of play hover sound variation? Oh, these functions need to exist. You can't comment these out. This one and what else? On button something? On button focus entered. Where's that one? There, here. It didn't crash there. Is that a red herring? It's strange. Very strange. I think it's a one or the other kind of thing. If we have a reference to audio system, I think something goes haywire. And I don't, that doesn't make any sense to me, especially when we're not invoking any of this. No, it's not that. It's something else. All right, let's put all these back in. No, it's still not crashing. Maybe, man, I'd really hate for it to be like random chance, and it just so happens that I'm testing different things, so that I think it's related to what I'm doing. But it's, 1/3 of the time it crashes no matter what, and then it's just those 1/3 happen to coincide with this. Can't undo code cleanup. All right, what was supposed to call this? Nothing. Nothing calls this. Just this. Autopick. Autopick's definitely not happening. Commenting on this line, though, does something. Yeah, now it doesn't crash. I don't get it. I mean, suppose we do conclusively prove that this is the line causing the crash. And it's not. Yeah, there's some other race condition going on alongside this. But we know it's coming from this script. The script for code that's never being hit. None of this stuff. I mean, is it just random chance? If I run this like 10 times, I should get a crash, right? I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I didn't change any code that time. It crashed one of the times. So I don't think this has to do with me commenting on random code here. I think it's a timing problem. Now, that said, here it's happening all the time. If I do comment out this entire file, it will probably never happen again. Should be easy enough to test that because it just happened 3 times in a row. It can't be that rare of an occurrence rate. So I try 10 times and it never happens. Yeah, no crash. I wonder if it has to do with like the size of script, so it's being put in memory differently or something like that. Yeah, no crash again. Oh, it did crash now. Okay, so it isn't related to this. So this is just some strange occurrence. Okay. Not related to this at all. There's something that's based on timing or location in memory or yeah. Thanks, Scholar. Be related to how long you wait before quitting? It could be, yeah. Yeah, it definitely could be. Yeah, there could be some task that's getting canceled or finished in the background. So the option item itself doesn't have to do with this. So I guess we can delete it or detach the script at least. So now there's no script. The crash will probably still happen. This is what you do in game. All I'm doing in game is pressing escape and then going to quick game. But maybe I'm going to it in a different way each time. Like maybe I should, whoops, put the mouse here and then quit. Was that different? Wait, is that it? Is it just the difference between clicking the background versus not? So if I just press escape and then quit. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I think there is something about this. I don't know what it is exactly. I will try with the controller. Let's see. Yeah, no bug there. It seems to be if I move the mouse around on the window, like just moving the mouse here causes a crash. No, it's not even that. I think it's just random. Or, yeah, randomness somehow. So this makes me wonder what other conclusions I came to that are incorrect. But yeah, in our standalone project, we have option item in option presenter. This never causes a problem though. And I do pretty much exactly the same thing, right? I just click the quit button. It never crashes. Yeah. These option selects and stuff are unrelated to selecting options in the pause menu, right? Yes, correct. Yeah, they're the dialogue options. So like when a character says, hey, do you want this or that? And now you get options for this and that, and you choose one of those. Yeah, these never show up at all. I mean, I guess what I could have done here to try to get this to be almost exactly like what we have is just delete everything from here. Yeah. Just delete it all. Well, maybe not the names. I still want the names. Yarn spinner, canvas layer, and dialogue runner. Okay, so let's delete it. And then go add that in. Default dialogue system. I want this to be here. So yarn spinner, canvas layer, make local. And everything's just hooked up like it is in the other game, right? Is this gonna work? It works. Is it gonna crash? Oh no, it doesn't work. What is this? Text line provider, yarn project not set. Yeah, that's easy. Yarn pro. Oh, what? Weird. Yarn project. Okay, there. I should have done this earlier. I didn't realize it'd be this easy to do. It still causes a crash. So now the scenes and the scripts are all pretty much the same. So now we need to trim down the farm. I don't know. I gotta take another break pretty soon. Did it crash this time? It didn't. No, it didn't crash that time. Did it crash that time? Should say handle crash. Oh, there's an ad break running. All right, I'll have to take a break. Yeah, it's not crashing at all now. Something strange is happening. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, close the game. Man, I did not expect this to take all afternoon, and I'm still not all that close to figuring it out. And now it's not even crashing anymore. Something strange is happening. Why wouldn't it crash at all anymore? It would imply that switching away from that scene tree that I was using was the cause. But why didn't that happen when I ran from here? Is something going wrong when running from Rider? Because this doesn't happen from Godot. Although now it's not happening from Rider either.
Whoops.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in the last like 6 or 7 runs. So if it is random chance, it's unlikely it would have not happened 6, 7 times in a row. Although it did just happen now. So lends credence to the whole timing issue thing. I am waiting a little bit longer now, so maybe I just need to wait longer here too. It's going okay. I would have liked to figure out this problem. Program crashed. Yeah, there is no, it's not crashing from the command line. What if this is caused by Rider somehow? How was your day, TJ? Oh, there we go. Okay, it crashed then. Yeah, so it's just rare. This is implying race condition more than anything else. Yeah. I just don't understand. It's loading a bunch of sounds in. It kind of makes me wonder, is that the difference between this project and this project? Like this project just doesn't have anything to load, so it does so quickly that there's like no chance for you to repro this. Just a regular Monday, it was okay. All right, that's not too bad. You're 1/5 of the way through the week. Godot, repros, C#. I gotta make it so you can just press escape to end this. Let's go do that. Input. Wait, maybe it's like, what does handle this? Oh, pause, sure. Whatever. I'll put this over here. Override input. All right, so if you press UI, what is it, accept? I don't know. I don't know what any of this is. Input map built in. Is escape? Yeah, UI cancel is set to escape, so let's do that. UI cancel. Then quit the game. Quit via notification. Cool. So now I should be able to start this and then just immediately press escape and it should close.
Whoops.
I'm going to mash escape here. It's not doing anything. Something else is probably taking the input. Hey, Monty. Why wouldn't this work? Maybe it's got to be GUI input. No, that's strange. What is going on here? I'm not picking the wrong thing, am I? UI cancel. UI cancel. And it's set to escape. All right, maybe just is action pressed. This will make it so that we don't even need to have pressed it here. It could just be held down somewhere. Okay, that worked. Although I think I needed to click somewhere to do that. Nice. Okay, there we go. So if we don't see any orphaned strings, we don't see any like crash handler thing. Crashed.
Whoops.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. I don't think it'll ever happen from here though. Like if I
Whoops.
just mash escape as fast as possible.
Whoops.
Mashing it doesn't really do anything.
Whoops. Whoops.
Crazy. Just crazy. What am I supposed to be doing? We could try adding in a bunch of resources for it to try loading. Why does this end up loading any of these wave files anyway, though? What is causing that? Actually, in terms of resources that it loads, it's not really that many, is it? Like, is this an example of one of the crash times? Copy output. Yes, this is one of the crash times. So this is the entirety of it. And if we look at loading resource, we load 180 of them. Some are translation files. I guess that's another change here that I didn't think about. We're running in English, but we don't have any localization files. We also load a whole bunch of scripts, a bunch of graphics. How many wave files do we try loading? Just 2. So the only big differences remaining are SIABT loads a bunch of stuff, and SIABT has localization enabled. I mean, let's just cut out the bunch of stuff then, right? And let's cut out localization. Just delete everything. Delete this. Do we need even English to be there? Oh my God, this has to do with localization. Base language, EN, localization, CSVs. Yeah, so we don't even need this, right? Base language, we just set to EN, US. I don't know what this is going to do. I don't think it's going to change anything. I'll just cut that out. And sure, whatever. I don't know. Run this now. Remember, this didn't always crash, so if we see a crash, then we know, whoops, that's the wrong program. If we see a crash, then we know that this didn't fix it. So I'm kind of hoping we do see a crash, so we know
Whoops.
It's not related to localization. Yeah, it's still crashing. And then there's just a bunch of other stuff in the scene, so we need there to not be all that stuff. I mean, it's not easy to just cut everything out here. Also, even getting to this point requires going through the title screen and everything, or at least through main. And then it just kind of like warps us here into this game. Why doesn't this happen from Godot? That's the other thing I was wondering. Like, shouldn't I see this crash here? And it's either that Godot doesn't print the crash or that it's just not crashing. Yeah, there's no indication. There are no errors. It just never happens when you launch from Godot. But it happens consistently when you launch from here. I just wait a little bit and then it crashes. Yeah. Weird. Why doesn't this crash happen when I launch from Godot? What did it even mean? The only difference between launching from Godot and not is how tool scripts are handled, I thought. The other thing I could try is export the entire game and see if that does anything. I can use the default dialogue scene and the crash will still happen. And it says the same thing every time, right? At the bottom of all of this. Resource still in use. And I'm guessing this is the problem, but it might just be a symptom of the problem. Nodes are removed from the scene tree, but not freed. I don't do this, though. I wonder if we just explicitly freed everything in here. I don't have any better ideas, so let's just try this. I am a little bit frustrated now because I was hoping to get to the bottom of this. What are you going to do? So there it is. And we have our dispose here. I want to dispose of this. I guess just free it directly. Get parent, remove child. So you remove it from the scene and then free it. Do I still have that thing that waits 60 frames? I wonder. Can't access a disposed object. Yeah, okay, this won't work from here. Also, yeah, let's just save it off. All right, so just node this null ready node yarn spinner canvas layer. Yeah, this. Cool, then to dispose, let's try to get rid of it. This shouldn't even matter. Do I still do this thing with 60 frames? Next frame. No, I got rid of this. So just calling quit right now. Yeah, it's already disposed, so we can't do anything about this. Which would mean that there's already a problem with this, right? We can't even access this? Yeah. So in the cases where it crashes, I guess let's do this. Print out is instance valid yarn spinner canvas layer. I wonder if this correlates to the crash. Like it's always true when it crashes or something, which means it hasn't been freed otherwise. Just a random hunch. It says false. So it's not valid, so it didn't crash. Does it print true when it crashes? Still hasn't crashed. No, it printed false still. Okay. But it crashed that time. That's the only place where any of these scripts are even stored. No, wait. Wait. Could this be from add-on code? I know it's in add-ons here, but could just having the add-on be installed cause this to happen? Probably not. But I guess we could test that pretty easily too, right? We just get rid of the start dialog call that I have. Where is that call? Yeah, wait, where is that call? Here it is. If I turn this off, it never crashes again. Maybe I was wrong even about that. Maybe it's just having these scenes in the scene tree. So now we're not even trying to start a dialogue. And yeah, maybe what we've done is we've just decreased the amount of times it crashes, but haven't completely removed them. I don't really believe that though. It's not crashing. Yeah, it's not crashing. Must have to do with start dialogue. I mean, we could just start going and gutting some of the add-on code. Yeah, no crash. What could go wrong? I guess we just print things from here, right? Like, we don't get to beyond this, I believe. Add on before, when, all, and after continue. I haven't really made progress in some time, which makes me think I should just stop working on this. Oh, wait, it hits all of those things? What are the tasks we're waiting for? Just for it to start, I see. And that's when it crashes. Unless I can somehow beat it to the punch here.
Whoops.
No, I can't. There's no way I'd be able to go faster than that. It's always after continue. So we're not waiting for this thing anymore. We just hit dialogue continue. That doesn't mean anything though. It means that the dialogue is showing on the screen at the time. So this, for example, if I could repro this in the new project consistently, I would just file a bug now. But yeah, I can't repro this. So biggest questions: why doesn't this have when I launch from Godot? And why can't I isolate a minimal repro? Yeah, so even if I get this happening a lot, it never happens from Godot. And I feel like it's just not printing what it would be. But I don't have any sort of filter here. Yeah, I don't have any filters. What does this button do? Latch duplicate. No. None of this matters. You don't see errors in here. Nothing here would tell us anything. Strange. What could be the difference between running from Godot and running from outside of Godot? I mean, I guess we could find out by just looking at this. Oh, this happens from the command line too. We're running the exact same version of Godot. That should be exactly what's running over here. We specify a path to the game. We have a different working directory, but I don't think that matters. Because like I said, this happens on the command line. When we run over here, we're running from my home directory, actually. So yeah, working directory probably shouldn't matter. Although, who knows? Maybe that is important. Let's go try this out. So yeah, just get rid of that and go to this, because this is how it runs it. And now we'll specify a path of just /game. Oh, wait a second. What I just said isn't even true. Well, it doesn't matter at this point. It didn't crash. This is the wrong application. Still isn't crashing. Still isn't. I don't know how it being a working directory problem would make sense. Yarn Spinner would use it. No, it doesn't make sense. Oh, it also doesn't make sense why this isn't reproing. Yeah, strange. It's never actually crashing anymore. Okay, well, let's take this to another level then here. Let's go into this folder and run it with dot dot slash dot dot slash game. I mean, it's still not crashing now. See, I don't think the startup folder, now it crashed. It might just be a coincidence though. I want it to crash like this. I want to find out why it isn't crashing like this. If this is a working directory thing, I just don't get it. Yeah, it's never failing in this scenario. I think all of these are just red herrings though. Like I think it will eventually fail like this. It is very weird that it isn't. Yeah, strange. It's very strange. It doesn't crash like this. Then I switch directories. In fact, actually, the directory I picked shouldn't even matter. I should be able to go into anything like tools and localization tool and just run from here. Didn't crash. Didn't crash. And didn't crash. Is it something special about this directory? Like, is there a .do folder in there and there's some like weird cache thing that's broken? If it is, it's not broken consistently enough. All right, I don't know. I'm not making any progress. Yeah, I'm not even getting this to crash now. I don't have answers. I suspect it's a race condition and the minimal repro doesn't load enough for me to hit the problem. Yeah, I'm gonna just fill this out. So second half of stabilization Fortnite. I spent the morning making progress and the afternoon slamming my head against an occasional crash that I can't figure out. Wow. What a shame. Problem is, I don't really know what to do at this point. Like, I'm not going to upload my whole game and be like, hey, here's a repro for something. I could file a bug with the details in Godot. Like, I could include this sort of thing. And maybe at least I could ask, hey, how do I get more information about this? It did bring it to a game. It's a worthy opponent. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's what we do then. If some, so where I left off, if some inspiration, I guess if no inspiration strikes, maybe just file the issue in Godot and ask how to find out more. No backtrace is showing up. This crash seemingly only happens from Rider or the command line, not from Godot itself. What else? This, I can't seem to make a minimal repro. The resources still in use are all from Yarn Spinner. Yeah. How confident are you that the seg fault is caused by the dangling resources? I'm not confident. I don't know how to get more information here. When I was getting more information, we had this printing out. And here, the thing just before the problem was canvas texture and validation callback. So it made it sound like, okay, a texture is still being used and then we have to clean it up and it's just not cleaning up correctly or something. Or we're cleaning it up twice. And it's possible it's still this problem, but here it says dumping the backtrace and actually did dump the backtrace. The new logs that we're getting say, where is it? Oh, there it is. Dumping the backtrace. And then it just doesn't dump anything. So, yeah, I'm not sure. And I didn't see more information when I built the engine from source. But maybe I missed something. And this happened in 4.6.1 and also in 4.7.beta 4. Man. Could push it and see if Dark or Kevin are able to repro it at all. Yeah. Man. I just... All right, well, whatever. This stuff happens. I gotta remember that pretty much every other problem I've ever encountered, I've eventually gotten past. So we'll eventually figure this thing out too. It's just one of those puzzles I don't like leaving at the end of the day. Because I don't really have any other ideas for what I could even try. There's always this weird thing when you have repros of you either trim down your code to try to get to the minimal repro, or you build up a blank project to get to where you can repro it. And I've pruned down quite a lot, but I didn't prune down everything. Maybe I should prune out more of this, and maybe I should actually even start in the scene. In fact, what if we just click this button? It's probably going to fail somehow. Yeah. What isn't set to an instance zone object? The camera. What is responsible? It's strange. The camera's not set. I don't understand that. The camera's right here. How could the camera not be set? GDB the Godot process or something? Yeah. Maybe that would help. So only idea that I had is like keep pruning the farming scene till we get it down to the bare bones implementation of it. At that point, I assume the crash will stop happening. We should also load directly into that scene instead of going through main. Well, all right. I'm gonna go find someone to raid. Man. Yeah, man. All right, I'm gonna go raid Boolean. Let's go say hi. Thank you all for watching. Sorry for being a downer. Tomorrow will just be a half day. And yeah, hopefully something strikes and I figure out how to solve this. But yeah, next week we're going to start the next sub game. So that should be back to like fun game dev. But yeah, take care everyone. See ya.